raising women's voices,
one story at a time.
Welcome to the She Said Project podcast. Well, hello, friends, and welcome back to another wonderful, exciting, and precious episode of the She Said Project podcast. If you are joining us on WCIA 3+, the new streaming platform, welcome. We're really excited to be here with our new partnership with WCIA. I'm your host, Jeanette Jerzyk, National Director of the She Said Project, and I wouldn't be here if it weren't for my co-host, Carrie Rosso.
Thanks, Jeanette. Well, when you say that, it always sounds like I birthed you, like I'm your mom. I wouldn't be here without a special lady, my mom, Carrie Rosso. If you call me mommy, I'm quitting.
I was going to say, you don't look like you could possibly be my mother, and you can't, actually. But what you are to me is a mentor. You didn't birth me, but you birthed the She Said Project and the first original That's What She Said production that kicked this whole thing off. I won't say the year because we keep aging ourselves on this show and I don't think we can avoid it. But it's been a long time. It's been over a decade. More than 360, 70, 80, 400 women have graced a She Said stage now that we're in mid 2025. It's been a really long time. The show has expanded into many markets, more than a dozen markets. When you guys, you say all the time, it was only meant to be a one-night thing. Like, wasn't there a dream? Didn't you have a dream one day that it would be like this big and growing? No?
That sounds kinky, but no, we didn't. We really thought if we can pull this one show off, and then it had the reaction it did, and it was clear that it's kind of like that one-night stand that you thought was a one-night stand, and then it winds up like, I'm in love with this man, I'm going to marry him. Just me. But it was like that. It was just so perfect and wonderful. And as we'll talk about later in the show today, women's relationships are so special. And women's relationships, I think what came out of that is women feeling seen, women having permission to laugh at inappropriate jokes, tell inappropriate jokes, and then tell stuff from the heart also, because it's the whole shebang of life. It's that roller coaster. And so then, bam, here we are.
I give so much credit, not just to you, but your co-founders, Jill and Casey, who were part of the shenanigans long ago in the office. You guys are some of the funniest ladies I've ever met, but also like hearts the size of all get out. You know what I mean? Like, you really created something special to make the world a better place for your daughters. And the reason it's grown into other markets is because women recognize that. Women recognize the power of being vulnerable and creating a safe space for women to be truly seen and heard. And that magic formula, that magic sauce, has translated into new markets in Illinois and beyond. And the reason we get to hang out today is because we brought in one of our very special guests from one of those markets. So far to date, there has only been one That's What She Said Indianapolis, whoop, whoop, which happened in 2023. And I was very much a part of the creation of that show. It was kind of a co-production with the local producer. But that was a fantastic cast of women. Now, I happen to know that the state of Indiana has a special place in your heart, and that show held a special place in your heart.
Well, I'm a Hoosier forever, and so it was really special to me because I got to go back to my home state and see this show that was so special to me in my home state, and then there was a woman in it that was actually a sorority sister of mine. So it was just layer upon layer, and then having family members in the house and sorority sisters, of course, that showed up to support her. And it was a pretty fabulous night all the way around.
I mean, the whole reason women join sororities is for that sisterhood, right? To find like-minded women that you connect with, that you want to spend time with. Not that She Said is like an adult sorority at all, maybe a little.
It is in the good ways,
yeah.
All the good ways, because I hear stereotypes about sororities, and I didn't have that stereotypical experience. I love the women in my sorority, and I think that's why the show resonates with women. They connect to their friendship groups, whether that was a sorority, a basketball team, whatever their group is, there's always a fun one, there's always the responsible one, and then they see the show, and we're so purposeful about having diversity in women. Most people see it and they're like, yeah, that's you, that's me. And that, I think, is the same thing. Like I've said, I wanted to duplicate the show so that I had a team again, and then had a sorority again, or and I think that's what happens. And in this one, like literally, it recreated and had a sorority sister.
Like in real time.
In real
it's
time.
A real thing. So before we bring on our guest today, before she's joined us in the studio and can veto anything you say, why don't you tell our friends and our guests who she is to you?
So first, I don't know if you were going to share this later. I got ambushed today. I did not know that this was our guest. And I thought I'd either dropped a ball and not read the email from Jeanette about giving me the scoop of what was coming today, or that she, for once, had dropped a ball and not sent the email. But I knew she was going to pull it off, so I just showed up. And then when I came in today, she started to introduce me, and like a moron, I was like, hello. And then I realized, like, who's this Foxy number? And then I realized, like, holy cow, it's Heather. And so there was a beautiful moment of realizing that Heather was here, but who she is, you could ask 50 different people and they'll all say different things because she wears so many hats for so many people, but they would all say she's a girl's girl. She's that person that's your ride or die. She's going to show up, and people show up for her because she's that girl. But she's everyone's biggest cheerleader, and so it was really great to see her on the stage telling her own story. It was pretty special.
And I get to jump right in here because of your connection, she got cast in That's What She Said, Indianapolis. Because I got to work on the production and direct the show, I got to spend some time with her, and I have to agree, she's pretty darn fantastic. So I think we can stop talking about her and start talking with her.
Thank goodness.
Heather Hughet's in the house.
I don't take compliments. Let's not do that anymore.
You're not blushing, are you?
That was good. Oh, no, it's sunburn. Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Thank
you for making the trek. So normally when we have guests in the studio, they're local-ish, and we have, we invite our outside, our distance guests by, video. But you were like, what if I came out in person? Would that be all right?
Yes. We're always up for adventures, and like I said, my best friend was in town. I was like, we love to do road trips. Why not?
So it's very true. We did ambush Carrie on this one. It's true.
But I'm casting that on Jeanette. Jeanette was like, what if we don't tell Carrie? What if you just show up? I was like, what if? Let's do that.
Let's do it. That's all it takes. One what if.
Mostly so you could take her out for drinks after the show.
I might have thrown my phone and my keys. I think I blacked out. I think I might have said an expletive and just thrown stuff, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
When you see someone from your past, that you love and adore, but they're out of context, right? They just walk into your life. It is a shocking moment.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
But welcome to Champaign.
Thank you.
So let's talk about That's What She Said, Indianapolis. It always goes back to one fateful night, but like so many pivotal moments in our lives, one moment, one night, that's all you need.
Yes.
That's what she said. But that was a special night.
Yes, it was a very special night.
And it didn't take us long to figure out what you were going to talk about because you were right in the thick of some important family business and processing where you were in your relationship with your mother.
Yes.
And why don't you share with our audience just a little bit, kind of set them up, and then we'll play the performance.
Okay. So in 2015, my mom was diagnosed with early stages of Alzheimer's, first dementia, and then went into Alzheimer's. And all my life, I'd always been told, I have two older brothers, 11 and 14 years older than me, and they always said, you're going to take care of mom and dad. That's the girl's job. That's the baby's job. You're the baby and the girl. And so my boys and I moved in with my mom just to make sure that she was safe and we could get her where she needed to be and just take care of her. It wasn't, it was a labor of love. I'm not going to pretend it wasn't a labor, but it was the right thing to do. I wouldn't change anything. We were there when she needed us most, and I know that was my purpose. That was exactly where I was supposed to be. So it gave us a lot of stories. It gave us a lot of adventures because everywhere we went, she went. Sometimes whether she wanted to or not, but band contests, restaurants, trips to Alaska, like we did it all. She's not one to be slowed down, even with a disease. So
it was so great watching because I keep up with Heather on social media and seeing your posts. It was like Thelma and Louise. I mean, the adventures that they had and that you would share. And I remember thinking, like, for both of you, like how lucky for your mom and how lucky for you to have that time together.
It really was. And it was also a God thing because during that time, the company I was working for was bought out. And so my position was going away. And so I was unemployed for 10 months during part of this moving in and taking care of mom. And to me, I was like, okay, God, I think you're giving me this time and I'm going to use this time. And then as we went into it more and more and I was without a job, I was like, okay, God, is that time about ready to like shorten any? Like I need a job. We need to figure this out. But it was definitely a godsend for that to happen at that time, so that I was there day in and day out as she was starting to transition to the next stage of dementia. And that's where the Where's Mom post came from, because I couldn't keep track of that woman. I literally bought slippers with bells on them so we could find her, but then she put them on. They were Christmas ones, and I hid them in the closet, and she would go digging and find them. And she'd be going through the house, and you'd hear dingle, 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 dingle. And I'd be like, Mom, and she'd go dingle, 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 dingle. Like she would definitely, she knew everything that she was doing to drive us crazy. But I was like, I need a bell, but I can't put her in slippers outside. So yeah, there was a lot of adventure.
So we were able to take some of those stories, some of those adventures, and kind of weave them together into your story.
Yes.
And one of the common threads was how you use social media to share what you were going through, the good, the bad, and the ugly, as kind of your healing process.
Correct.
And so that's what we're going to share with our audience today, how that story came together and how those posts really sent a message. And so we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, you get to enjoy Heather Hughet's story from the stage. Talking about Alzheimer's is difficult for anyone, but our guest, Heather Hughet, made the most of her situation. So please enjoy her story from That's What She Said Indianapolis 2023. Here is #Adventures in Alzheimer's Sitting.
July 30th, 2016. Conversation on the way home tonight. Mom, I was telling Jonathan the other day about how I fell in the lake up to my chin and... Me, what? Wait. Mom, the other day when I fell in the lake. Me. Were you trying to rake the muck out like I specifically told you not to do because you would fall in the lake? Mom. Oh yeah, I forgot I wasn't going to tell you this story. I guess it won't be my boys after all. #death of me. June 13th, 2019. Show of hands. Who else had to yell for their mom to come inside at 10:15 p.m.? Oh yeah, after you locked the door and turned off the lights, not knowing that she used the side door. Anyone? Bueller? 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 I'm starting my book. The working title is Adventures in Alzheimer's Sitting. Subtitle, My Ultimate Demise. March 4th, 2019. Where do I get my stubbornness? Glad you asked. Mom and I are driving past the cemetery where my dad is buried. Mom, do you already have a burial plot? Me, no, I don't need one. I told everyone, take what you can use and burn the rest. Have a big party with a lot of laughs and great music. Mom, you can't do that. You have to have a funeral and a showing. Me, no I don't, and I don't want that. Nothing in a funeral home. It's too much money. Just a cremation and a party. That's it. Mom, well, I don't like that. You'll have a funeral. Me. No, Mom, I really don't want one. Mom, you're having one. I will just outlive you so that I can make sure. #Adventures in Alzheimer's Sitting. These are just a few of the examples of my Facebook posts that I shared while living with my mother during the early stages of Alzheimer's. Growing up, I always heard, since you're the only girl and the baby, you will be taking care of mom and dad. Mom confirmed this, as she always said it too, that I would be the one taking care of her. So I bought into it. The care of my parents would be on me. I bought my grandmother's house next to their house so I would be available. My father passed away 14 years ago, and my mother lived on her own until breaking her hip and being diagnosed with the early stages of Alzheimer's in early 2016. My boys, ages 16 and 12, and I moved in with her in my childhood home so that I could be the caregiver. The adventure started off with a bang, never to slow down. The main bathroom in the house is across the hallway from my mother's bedroom. My oldest, Tyler, 16, my ex-husband, and I were in the living room while my mom took a long, hot shower. Tyler was patiently waiting for her to be done so that he could use the restroom. As mom finished the shower, she yelled out of the bathroom door, "Okay, I'm done." Tyler waited about 60 seconds and then headed through the kitchen to round the hallway corner to the bathroom. Almost as soon as he disappeared, he reappeared and came back to the living room. As he entered, he said, "It is so hot in the bathroom, and Grandma's naked." Through my laughter, I asked for clarification because feeling that he truly buried the lead on that one. I walked back to my mom's room where she sat on her bed, only wearing a Depends. I asked her to please not walk through the house naked now that we live with her and there are boys in the house. She said, "Well, I covered the important parts." I said, "Mom, you can't do that. It's still scarring for a child to see their grandparent naked." Mom turned to me, very serious, and said, "Well, tell Tyler they're perkier when they're younger." As I laughed, I was instantly transported back to when I was 5 years old, standing beside my mother as she reclined in the tub with a washcloth over her chest. I asked her what she was doing, and she said, "Covering my nummies." I wasn't sure I heard her correctly and asked her to repeat it. "Nummies, the things between your neck and your tummy, are your nummies?" So there you have it. Family tradition, the need for therapy around body parts. Thus began the adventures in living with my mom. In fact, I began posting the daily grind on Facebook with a hashtag of Adventures in Alzheimer's Sitting. When we moved in with my mom, our lives changed. Mom had always loved the outdoors, and that did not change. I was constantly having to survey our wooded property to see if I could find her. Then the game hashtag Where's Mom was born. My go-to in stressful situations is humor. I must find that humor in a situation in order to fight my way through it. And, of course, because of this, I think I'm hilarious. I began posting our adventures on Facebook so that my friends could enjoy, and also in hopes that I would not be the only one laughing at my life. There were photos of her barely visible in the wooded areas, photos taken at dusk with her blending into the darkness, photos where she was on her knees getting the weeds out of our perfectly fine crabgrass. My friends began to play along. It brought me great joy. They began looking forward to the posts, even asking, "Where's your mom at today?" on the days that I didn't post. It made my heart happy. I didn't sugarcoat my posts much. I posted when she ticked me off by trying to get the weeds out of our ravine. I posted when she argued with me about pulling up carpet so she could clean underneath of it. It was daily life. She was becoming like a toddler. And then one day, my brother called me. He asked me to please stop posting about Mom and her antics because it was upsetting the grandkids. I didn't know how to react at first. These posts aren't meant to be upsetting. They are my life. They are meant to be funny and a lighthearted view of the adventure. I was upset. Out of respect to my brother's wishes, I stopped posting while I mulled over what I did wrong. Mom still continued her antics, but I no longer had my outlet. After about a week of contemplation, I came to the realization that I need to post these things. It was my outlet. So at first, I just blocked all family from being able to see the posts. If they were getting upset, I would just not let them see them. As time went on, I began to find my grounding, my center again. I decided to remove the block. I needed to have the freedom to share my story without the fear of someone finding out about it on accident. I needed to post my situations without worrying. I'm sorry if they got upset about something, but I can't control that. I needed to do what I felt helped me deal with the situation and release some of the pressure. So I continued my hashtag Where's Mom and hashtag Adventures in Alzheimer's sitting posts. My friends still loved the stories and commented often. And then more wonderful things began to happen. One friend from high school reached out to me because she saw these amazing gardening gloves in an ad. They had little claw-like fingers to help with digging in the flower bed. She said, I saw these and I thought of your mom. Would she like them? I would love to get them for her. Of course she would. Josie drove them over the day they arrived in the mail. She presented them to my mom, a woman she had never met, and made my mom so happy she beamed. She hugged Josie tight and thanked her over and over again. Another friend messaged me on Facebook a little while later. He and I went to high school together, but maybe talked a total of 10 times in 4 years. He said, does your mom have a place for a garden? If you have an area for her, I can bring my tiller up and till her a good garden area. I haven't spoken to him in person since high school. He also had never met my mom. Yet he was willing to drive 30 minutes to our house just to till a garden for a woman he had never met, just to make her life a little more enjoyable. This is what it was about to me. Support from my community. More people to love my mom. How could that be a bad thing? So if I do write that book someday, I would hope that there are a couple of takeaways. Number one would be that even when faced with adversity, you can find a way to survive. It doesn't have to be the standard path. No one gets to dictate how you deal with your struggles. Do what you need to do, how you need to do it. I found my coping mechanism in humor. That may not be yours, but that's okay. Do what you need to do. My second takeaway, and possibly the most important one, is to always remember, nummies are perkier when you're younger.
Well, ladies, I think I know why you two are friends. Or shall I say bosom buddies? But Carrie, you always go to humor when things get uncomfortable or awkward. And I mean, it's healthy, it's healing. But I can totally understand why you would need to do that, for sure.
Yes, definitely was a way through, a way to help also bring joy. I feel better that even as Mom's disease progressed, I could still make her laugh. And I think that is very important in anybody's life. You need that humor, that a spark of hope. Sometimes that's what it is.
It is, and what a gift to her, because too, I'm sure she had, like, when you're not feeling great or you feel disoriented, laughter, I mean, nothing breaks an awkward or upsetting or stressful moment like a well-placed vagina joke. I mean, it just, everybody's going to laugh.
Yeah.
It's just a funny
nummies,
word.
you know, you gotta
Nummies,
joke.
like, that's just funny. It's a gift of, somebody can have that laugh and feel like popping the balloon. Like,
Yes.
okay, this was a really stressful day, but now we can laugh. And now we can get back to
with that
it.
release of tension, that release of anxiety, however it happens, then that just, To me, it helps.
Yeah, if it doesn't for you, then,
Yeah.
you know, keep those under wraps. But I loved that you shared that journey on social media. I hadn't thought of when it was happening. I was really surprised and felt bad for not considering, like, oh gosh, you know, if that was stressful for your brother or his kids. But, and like you said, I am sorry that if that was stressful, but it really was a gift to so many people either who are going through it at that time or now can look back and use that and sort of a guide of like, this is a beautiful way to have that experience and go through it with her.
Well, thank you. Yes, and I agree, because as I was putting more posts out there, more people were reaching out and more people were saying, oh, my mom or my grandma or my nana, my aunt. Like, so many people had talked about, yeah, I knew when my mom was going through it. I didn't know how to help her or anything, but, you know, this really gave me some insight to it. And it's not a disease that's going away. So more and more people are going to have to deal with it, be affected by it one way or another. So I think, I mean, there's books to read and all kinds of self-help for the caregiver, and which is very important. But it was just a way for me to fight my way through, to be able to do it.
And I loved when you said more people to love your mom.
Mm-hmm. And that's all I really ever wanted. And that's, I mean, she was a kindergarten teacher in a small town for 20-some years. There were droves of people who knew my mom and loved my mom. That's still not enough. Like, I still want more. I want her to know that love. Like, when she was turning 80 and that we were living with her, she gave me a week's notice. I want a birthday party. I'm turning 80. People should know that. I want a birthday party. So we had a week to throw together a party. I put that out on social media. If you knew my mom, if you went to school, she was your teacher. If you don't, if you just want to stop by, we're holding it at her church in the reception area. Stop by, people, and she loved every minute of it.
I bet.
She just loves people. She wanted to be around people no matter what. So.
Well, after the show, did you have more of the same? Was it just more feedback? What did you hear from people?
I heard a lot of feedback. People appreciating the honesty of what I said, but also reinforcing, oh, we really did love your posts. Like, we look forward to them, the Where's Mom posts. And one time when we were out at a car dealership and my friend's husband worked there, he came up, he's like, I found your mom. So I had to take a picture. I was like, Dennis won today. Dennis won the Where's Mom contest. So
It's like, where's Waldo?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's Mom today?
He goes, I found her today. So yeah, it gave me a little bit more hope. It gave me a warm feeling that, yeah, it was okay. Like, I made the right decision to keep posting, to keep doing that, because I needed that as well. I needed that reinforcement that, one, it was okay to do that, and two, you're seen. We see you. It's a struggle, but you're taking it on with humor, but it's still a struggle. And that gave me more strength to keep going, because when you're a caregiver 24/7, it is a struggle. And because Alzheimer's changes the person. I mean, my mom was very devout Christian. She was a school teacher, sweet as could be, would do anything for everybody. She's president of the Teachers Association. She worked behind the scenes to make sure the contract, like, she was a hard worker and all of that. And then Alzheimer's robbed her of her joy. It robbed her of her memories. And then it even turned her personality. The things that it does to them. And
So you don't think your mom would have walked around the house naked anytime
never,
before
ever,
that?
ever.
No.
And
Are your sons recovering?
we don't talk about it. I am sad for my sons, because I am so much younger than my brothers. When my brothers had kids, mom was young. So she took them to Disney, and she took them camp. Like, they did all the fun things. And I'm concerned, because I'm like, well, my brother's kids know fun grandma, and my kids know naked grandma. So it's not quite fair. But it is what it is, and they knew and they understood that. But it just changes things. And when she would say things to people that she would have never said before. I got calls when we did have to finally place her in a facility, calls of my mom hitting on the men that worked at the facility and lived in the facility. And I was like, that's not my mom. You got somebody else. That is not my mom. Nope. It flips that switch 180. You become who you were not. And now those are not fun phone calls.
And like, you're getting the calls that
Yes.
once upon a time maybe mom was getting. You know.
I'm not saying that. I don't think that I ever got caught. So there's that. But yeah, she was, trying to kiss guys, trying to sit on their laps. And I was like, no.
She became a flirt.
Oh, big time. And then she once even called out, when she fell and broke her hip and she was in a rehab facility, it was with some women, and it was in our hometown. So at that point, she still had her memory of who people were, who they were married to. And there was a gentleman that was in the facility, and she knew his wife. And so she would talk to him. And then there was another woman at the facility who was probably in further stages of some sort of dementia. I'm going to go with that, because I'm going to say this wasn't her nature. But she was flirting with that man and trying to get him to go to her room. And my mom let her know in no uncertain terms that man was married, and don't you dare do that. And she's like, well, she's not here. And I was like, and Mom goes, what are you? And she said a word that I don't know that I can say, but someone who sells it on the street.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
My mom would have never said those things, ever. And that was early on. So I was just like,
So that puts you in that position to switch roles. Now you are looking out for,
yes,
you're mothering your own mother.
I said that very, very often. It's really hard raising your parents at this stage. It's really tough to control. And she thought I was a stubborn toddler. She had me hands down. She was very stubborn.
It's like that curse. I hope you have a child who's exactly like you are.
Yes.
And then you never think it's going to be the person who cursed you.
Yes.
How long was it? How long were you her caregiver for?
So we moved in late 2015, and then we had to put her in a facility in 2020, July 2020.
5 years.
So 5 years we lived there.
5 years.
Yes. And the final straw, it wasn't that she was getting too far into Alzheimer's. She was getting too far into being stubborn. So we have our house that I grew up in, and it is about probably 2 miles from the place called the Senior Citizen Center. And they would come by and pick her up about 10 a.m., and they would go to the Senior Citizen Center with all the other seniors, and they would play games or whatever, and they'd feed them lunch, and then they would bring them home. And about 1:30, 2 o'clock, and my boys would get home from school at 3. So it was kind of a good fit daycare kind of a thing for adults. But at one point, she got mad at them and things that they were saying. And so she was like, I'm not going tomorrow. I'm not going to go. I was like, okay, that's fine. Call my brother. Mom doesn't want to go. So go ahead and bring her lunch or take her out to lunch, something. Okay, we'll do that. And so I love the app Life 360. Watch your kids, also watch your parents.
Okay.
So that way, when the phone said that she'd left the property, I was like, well, it's way too early for lunch. And so I'm watching it, and I'm like, it's going really slow. So then I call my brother. Did you pick up Mom? No. I woke him up. He was still in bed. No, I haven't picked up Mom. So
Mom's on the move.
Mom was on the move.
I remember this story.
Mom was on the move, walking.
Yeah.
In February to the Senior Citizen Center.
Oh.
And it's out on a highway. Luckily, I called the Senior Citizen Center. Is she there? No, she's not there. You said she wasn't coming. I was like, that was what I thought. She wasn't coming, but some gentleman very kindly picked her up on the road and took her to the Senior Citizen Center.
Gosh.
And I was working in Bloomington, Indiana at that point. So it was a 45-minute drive. Like, there was nothing I could do to get there fast, nothing that could happen. And I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this. It's not because of her memory loss. It's not, yes, her memory, but she had her memory. She knew she was going to do this. She was just mad. She was going to go. I was like, Mom, you weren't going to go. I know, but I was mad at him, and I was going to tell him about it. I was like, oh, okay, Mom, okay. I can't guarantee that she wouldn't have done that with her full right mind, but I think she would have at least, taken the car. But
So Heather, there are so many stories that we went through when you were preparing for the That's What She Said show.
Yes.
And like I remember you we met at a restaurant, and she brought printouts, like pages and pages. She went back looking for posts, and we kind of sorted through them and to figure out which ones were going to make it into the final story. So we went through all of these events and these stories. And I think there were margaritas involved.
Yes, there were.
And we were like, there was so much. And so I really want to know, because you mentioned in your story that there's a book in there somewhere. So I don't want you to give it away yet, because we're going to take a quick break. But I want to know if the book is coming out. We'll be right back. So how many posts do you think you made over those
my.
5 years?
5 years of posts. I would guess probably 80 to 100. I mean, at least, because I didn't always hashtag them. I tried to go back and for the show when we were doing
Yeah,
that
we were
and
going
just
through
do a
them.
search. And I didn't have as many as I thought. And I was like, I remember this and this and this. So what I've actually been doing as it comes up, Facebook does the memories. I've been going in and editing the post and adding hashtag onto
you
it.
can collect them all.
Adventures in Alzheimer's sitting on the post, so that I'm like, when I get ready to get it all together,
I smell a book.
Then I could
Heather.
then I could do that. So that's what I do think. I really think it would be therapeutic for me.
Yes.
And also hopefully helpful for others who have to go through it. Like I said, there are all kinds of how-to books or how to do this, but also I think sometimes just the personal aspect of how one person dealt with it and the things that happened, sometimes that can also give you insight. I mean, I had a lot of friends that reached out because one of their parents was also having Alzheimer's. They're like, what about this? Did you do this? I'm like, yes, here's how we did it. This is how we dealt with it. Or no, we didn't, but I fully understand where you're coming from on that. So I think it's a growing community, unfortunately,
and it's real talk. I
Yes.
think that people related to that because we know we can get the books on the how-to and all those things. Those things are available to us, thank goodness. But having someone who feels just like a girlfriend, just have real talk, I think that really resonated with people.
I think so as well, because I had a friend from high school and actually two friends. One JMR from college and then a friend from high school, and they're like, yes, this has been horrible watching my mom change her personality and everything else. And so we just kind of bonded over that. And it is freeing to be the real person, like not professional, clinical, here's what you
Right.
need to do. No, like it sucks. It does suck. And you have every right to feel that it sucks. Don't let anybody take that away. But you got to get through it. So here's what we did, kind of a thing.
Well, that's why I think you were a perfect match for the show because you are real talk person, and then the topic, the content was such a perfect fit because you didn't wrap it all up in a bow and you shared the parts that were hard and funny, and you shared all of it sort of without a filter. Like it didn't feel like you were trying to tie it all up in a bow. Like this
Right.
is what it really was like.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and that's what it is. I mean, you're going through it. I was still going through it at that time, and it wasn't as fresh as it could have been, thankfully, but it was still a forefront of my brain and everything that was going on, and it takes a while.
But that is your gift. Like you brought the real talk to the stage, and like you're doing it today. Like this is just who you are, and you went through some stuff, and your kids went through some stuff, and let's talk about it. And that's what we want. We want real women talking about real things. And so thank you for going there, because that is a really sensitive topic for people to go through, especially on a public stage, right?
Yes, and that's why I love about That's What She Said, what you guys bringing it to each city. Like I have people, I'm like, no, I can't describe it to you. You just have to experience it. Like I want you to go. I'm buying you tickets. You're going to go. Take your best girlfriend, because I guarantee, I don't even know what the topics are going to be, but I guarantee something will hit home.
Did you hear that on the break? Heather was telling us that she's buying tickets for friends in cities where there's That's What She Said shows, where she doesn't know anyone in the show, but she knows someone in the community, and she's like, here, have some you need to see this. Like that is magical. Thank you for that support. That's incredible.
Well, thank you for providing that option for people to go out and just have that bonding experience. And then, by the way, I'm telling them, don't bring your husbands, bring your best girlfriend. This is what you need. Do this. Have a bonding night. This is a girls' night. Go enjoy this. Not that men can't come. Men can always come, but...
Well, I was just going to ask you if you had seen a show before you were in a show, but you were in the audience at the first St. Louis show.
Correct, yes.
Because of your sorority
See,
bond.
it goes back to being a girl's girl and being supportive. I don't know how many hours, this group of girlfriends drove to see that show. And, and then she was in a show, and same thing. There were so many people in the audience that like, oh, those are Heather's people. You just know. And that doesn't just happen. That's not an accident. Like people who show up for others, it's like what we tell our kindergartners: you want a friend, be a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's Heather.
Yeah, thank you. And
I
that
want
is
to be
the
your
truth.
friend.
You are my friend.
I know you drove all the way out here.
Uh-huh.
Like again, here she is.
You asked me to do it
Showing
last
up.
time, and I was like, I'm in South Carolina. Can we do it another time?
You know what? It was meant to be.
Yes.
It is. I mean, the whole time she's talking, I hear the words coming out of her mouth, but I'm over here like, she's right there. Like, I'm going to touch her. I want to touch her. She's really right there.
Watch
I'm
She's
not
gonna
touching
pinch
you.
you.
I'm not touching you. I'm not. Yeah.
And just get right up to her like, "Nyeh."
So give us all the updates, since the show. It's been a couple years. What are you and your family up to now?
So my mom did pass away in October of last year.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. But I also say that it was also a blessing. She was not living the life she wanted.
Right.
She knew she wanted to be with her husband of 51 years, and she was very sad about that. So, I mean, there was still joy. I do have videos that they would send me. She loved music. She would sit there and pretend she played the piano, but in her mind, she was still playing the piano. She danced. I have an awesome video of her doing the twist. And she lets go of her walker so she can do the twist. So there were still highlight moments. But when it came down to it, it was time. And so while I'm sad that she's not here, I'm happy that the person that she became is no longer there. So I have the happy memories of my mom taking me on the road trips. It's like, we got a quarter tank of gas. Let's see where this road goes. And then we go. That's the memory I have. That's the lust for travel, the adventure. My mom, I think she'd be proud of me because she was always like, you don't have to grow up. Like, be a kid. This is what we're doing. And that's what I tell my kids. You got to get older, but you don't have to grow up. Still keep that childlike wonder. Still keep doing those things. And I think her being a kindergarten teacher really drove that home. But in her passing, I knew she was with Dad. I knew she was happy. She was not happy where she was. She was not happy living the way she was. I would take some music to her. Anytime we went, I had music playing in the background. She can still hum it. She couldn't quite find the words, but she knew they were right there. Or we'd watch Christmas movies at Christmas, and we'd White Christmas, one of her favorites, would take that. Well, because it's got music and dancing and everything else in it. So while I'm sad that she's not here for making memories, she truly wasn't here for making memories for quite some time. So I was relieved. I mean, judge if you want to judge, but I was relieved when she left this vessel and went on to the next, because now I know she's happy. Now I know that she's still singing, and now I know she remembers the words. So there's that.
I'm going to make that a meme. That's perfect. That is true happiness right there.
Yeah.
You don't want to see her suffer anymore. Now, what about you? What have you been doing since?
I've been doing a lot more travel. Enjoy traveling a lot. So I think that when we lived with Mom, we traveled with Mom. Like we did an Alaskan trip, and that was on her bucket list. And that was early enough in the disease that she enjoyed it. She remembered things. She had a good time. And so I'm like, why not travel? And I've passed that along to my boys profusely because last summer, when he was 19, my youngest backpacked through Europe for 6 weeks. My oldest is currently in Japan, finishing up his Purdue degree. And the youngest has just signed up. He's going to do 6 months as a food worker on a research base in Antarctica. So,
What?
yeah, for their summer of Antarctica. So he will
Summer
leave-
job.
Yes, his
Just your
summer job.
average summer job. in
Antarctica. He will turn
Antarctica.
21 in Antarctica. He's like, how many people can say that? I was like, I don't know anybody who can
No.
say they went to Antarctica.
What adventurous
on the
spirits.
lake with baby oil and Marlboros. Like, what?
Yeah,
How
exactly.
they're so much better than we were.
I know. I was like, I can't. People are like, how could you, when he went to backpacking through Europe, how can you let him do that? Why would I stop him?
Yeah.
He worked a full-time job to make all that money so that he could go through. Now, he went cheaply. He stayed in hostels. He took the equivalent of like Spirit Airlines to Europe. I was a little leery on that one, a little afraid, but he made it and he made it back. Yeah. He went and he saw places I've never seen, and I'm jealous. I think he told Melanie, like, once he goes to Antarctica, because he flies to New Zealand, and then they fly from New Zealand to McMurdo Base, and it's on one of those C-130 Air Force or military planes where it's just a big giant hull, and they sleep on their packs. So he takes that for 5 hours. But that being on New Zealand and then to Antarctica, he'll have been on 5 of the 7 continents or something like that now. I'm like,
Here he goes.
and he's
And
not
he's
even
how old?
21. He's 20.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I can't be mad. You're living your best life. Go
love
do
it.
it, dude. Go do it. Find out what you want to do. I've always thought he enjoyed cooking. He went to Hell's Kitchen in Vegas, loved all the food, tried to recreate it when he came back. I'm like, why don't you go to culinary school? Nah, Mom, you don't know anything. Well, now he's going to Air Force
And this is a job
research
working in
base.
the kitchen.
Yes, and this is a job working in the kitchen.
What a
I'm like,
crazy job.
He's like, well, I'm gonna be making. He's gonna be making money hand over fist because there's nothing to spend it on.
And who wants that job?
Yeah.
Right.
And so he's like, I don't know what it is. Like, well, maybe we take that money and go to culinary school and see if we like that. Maybe. But then also part of the job, he has to have a visa to land in New Zealand and stay there before he can jump the plane to go to Antarctica. The visa's for a year. So now he's thinking, well, the job in Antarctica is only 6 months. I could spend another 6 months in New Zealand. I was like, no, Mama's going to come visit. Just know that. So
We've got some sightseeing to do. I'm just going to say it. Once you've seen Grandma's nummies, like, you're not
You
afraid
can
of
do
anything.
anything.
You're not afraid of anything.
Anything is possible.
you can go anywhere
That's
and
right.
do anything.
That is the gift your mother
The
left.
gift of her nummies.
I don't think that should be a meme.
No, we'll avoid that one. All right, I think we need to break on that note. And we'll be right back to learn just a little bit more about Heather Hughet. I love it.
Sorry if I talk too long.
I mean, this is the kind of laughter that makes friendships so delightful and enjoyable. Like, my stomach hurts from laughing so hard. And what are we talking about? We're talking about hard stuff. And that's like our favorite thing when we can have a She Said speaker talk about a hard topic and still make the audience laugh, because life is all the things, you know. Tragedy plus time equals comedy. And you've had a few.
Yes.
You've had a few tragedies.
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting on that book. I'm telling you.
I know. I really need to get on it. I feel like it's still nagging in the back of my brain going, yeah. Remember this? Remember?
I mean, your kids are gone. They've moved
Yeah.
on. They're living in Antarctica without you.
Yes.
You've got time. You've got
Yeah.
time to write the book.
Yeah, I'm not gonna live in Antarctica, so yeah, definitely he has his own there. But I need to make the time with a concerted effort. I agree, but it does help me get through it and remembering the friendships, that everything that we have bonded over from grade school, high school, college, later in life, jobs. Like, you're still in touch with all that. That's kind of your core of how to get through life. At least for me, the core of getting through life is my friends. It's not going to be the job. It's not going to be the money. You'll always be able to make more money. You'll find a different job. I was without a job when I had to do this. My friends got me through it. My friends carried me through that time, as well as my mom. Like, they helped carry my mom because she was dependent upon me. I was her caregiver. So them helping me helped her.
Well, one of the quotes, and I'm very sorry, I don't remember who originally said it, but the quote of, "We're all just walking each other home." And I felt that, what the experience you gave your mom, but also the experience that created for you and for your boys to walk her home. But I think that it's in all areas. Like, you think of, young sorority girls and bearing witness to each other's lives. And I think that's what She Said. We always think, like, we're here to bear witness for each other, whether we're belly laughing or ugly crying. It's all about connection, which is everything. The people who read your post, the people that you came in contact with, that nice man that gave her a ride, like, all the things, what it all boils down to is connection. It's all the same.
And just knowing that, look out for each other. Like, that's all we really have to do. Just be kind. Look out for each other. Yeah. No one's winning. We're all going out the same way.
Nobody's getting out alive.
No, we're all going out the same way, and you're not going to take it with you. Be kind and help you just get to the finish line.
That's what you did. You helped your mom live her best last years. So she is blessed. We're blessed. The cast of women that you got to work with for that show, what a blessing.
Yeah.
Were all of that. They were
amazing.
some fun ladies.
Yes.
Who's your hotties?
We had a good time.
We did.
Now, we've got to figure out how to get back in Indianapolis, in Franklin, and Bloomington, and like Indiana. We're coming for you. Like,
Well,
we
I'm
need
telling you,
more.
pie pies are who ruled the world? Pie pies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think we just put out a call
We
to
wear
all the
the
pie
arrow.
pies.
We wear
Yeah.
the arrow.
I was gonna say, do you have a song or a handshake? or
Yeah, we
something?
just we're
a
firing it
song?
up
Oh, we
there.
have
What do I do?
so
We have
many
many songs. Yeah.
Oh, can you not share one with us today?
Oh, no.
You can't.
Some
You
of them-
cannot come in
no.
with that and
Well,
tee me up here.
So no, some of
top
them we
secret.
can't. Yeah, you can't share on your airwaves. But yeah, the joke wasn't the joke. How many pie pies does it take to change a light bulb, 99, 1 to screw the light bulb in, and 98 to sing about it. Yeah. Yeah.
True story.
Yeah.
True story.
Lots of serenading going
Yeah.
on. That was back when you could do it. So, yeah.
Well, and I think that's the great thing. Like, whatever it is, if it's your sorority, your teammates, the people that work at the home, whatever it is, like, that's always sort of my plea. Like, find those women. Don't do it alone. Find those people who are going to walk you home.
That talks real talk with you. That'll also help you find the humor, or be like, nope, you can just cry tonight. Just cry. That's fine.
Yeah.
You deserve it. You've earned it. Go for it.
Holding space for each other.
That's been your battle cry since 2013, Carrie. Every time you say that, find those women, loud and proud ladies. And, 12, 13 years later, it still stands just as true.
Well, I think because I've always been lucky to have those women, find those women. Whenever I made that, it was always like all the different groups of women I can think of, that it's not like I was my shining best during those college years. And still they were like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
We're
whatever.
good. You're good.
There's
We're
one
good.
sitting here right now holding witness. So,
Yes.
Heather, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Carrie, always a pleasure to see you. This was absolutely delightful. And I hope you can join us again next time on the She Said Project podcast. Thank you for listening to the She Said Project podcast. All materials contained in the podcast are the exclusive property of the She Said Project and That's What She Said LLC. For more information on our live shows, go to shesaidproject.com.